Welcome to What's the Buzz podcast. So we are here today with Dr. Todd Goldstein.
Oh, aiming for a
Uh,
fish.
he is practicing out of Red Bank, New Jersey, and has been one of my favorite practices to work with. In our podcast, we talk mostly about branding, and you have really nailed your branding. Like you just have this fantastic aesthetic across socials, throughout your website. I know you're a cosmetic dentist without even talking to you, but before we dive into all of that, I would love you to introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, and just a little bit of more about the smile aesthetic.
All right. Well, I'm Dr. Todd Goldstein. Um, I practice cosmetic dentistry. I am, like I said, in Red Bank, New Jersey. I did practice most of my career in New York City. Actually, just recently left New York City a few months ago, back in March, to focus solely on my practice in Red Bank. We did start up just about 2.5 years ago from scratch. So, we're building a cosmetic practice. So, but now I feel like I can focus 100% on my practice in Red Bank, and I don't go to New York anymore, which is great. Opened up a lot of my time. So that's where we are now.
That's awesome. Well, first off, congratulations on 2.5 years. That's huge.
Thanks.
I know it hasn't always been easy. Um, what are some things that when you were setting out to build your own practice? I mean, obviously you have certain standards. What are some things that you really wanted to make sure that you did for your practice?
So, I mean, I do, obviously I enjoy the cosmetic part of dentistry. I mean, that's the part that I enjoy, the most of doing everything. It's just a very rewarding way to practice, at least for me, and I think also for my patients. So that was, like you said, that was the goal. That was the feel of the practice that I wanted. I wanted to focus basically strictly on doing the cosmetic side of dentistry. I did a lot of general dentistry over the years. You know, Had enough of that. So, um, but I really do enjoy like doing the cosmetic side. It's very gratifying for me. I think it's very life changing for a lot of patients, and that's really what I wanted the feel of the practice to be as far moving forward.
Right. That's I mean, cosmetics, it's one of the hardest fields to get into. And I find, especially because to each their own, everyone has different goals and different desires. What do you feel really helps sets you apart in cosmetics?
Um, I mean, so it's a lot of training. Obviously, getting into cosmetics, like you said, it is difficult. There's a lot of dedication and training. It's not You can't just come out of dental school and do this stuff. It takes years and years and years of training, continuing education, constantly wanting to get better at what you're doing, constantly keeping up on the newer materials and newer techniques. So it's just something that I've continued to do throughout my entire career. Where I felt, like, again, it was more of a passion that I had of doing it, and just to keep pushing myself to get better at it and better at it, and always be on top of like the latest trends and the latest materials and things like that. We always want to be on the forefront of all the cutting edge stuff.
That I mean, it always resonates in your work. Like everyone I see, all of your before and afters, like the attention to detail is so on point. And I
Yeah.
know that's why your patients love you. Um, I've gotten to see some of the ongoing courses that you've been a part of. Um, what do you feel is one of the biggest myths or questions that you get asked in cosmetic dentistry? Because I know there's a lot.
So what do you mean? What do you mean by like a myth?
So a lot of times, like when I was getting veneers, so I'm in the process of veneers. I'm actually in my temps right now. I was posting about it, and people like, "Oh, you're going to ruin your teeth. They're going
Uh,
to shave them down, or you're going to
yeah.
get bulky." I mean, what are some things that you hear, and what are some things that we can dispel?
So unfortunately, some of the things that people are seeing like on social media and internet and things like that is people posting these things where they're getting their teeth like shaved down to like these little nubs or little shark teeth. With the technologies we have now with porcelain veneers, I do probably close to 50% of my veneer cases now as zero, no preparation, meaning we don't shave anything, we don't touch the teeth anymore.
Wow.
The veneers, it's like, if you go to get your nail done, you get a fake nail over your real nail. You don't cut the old nail off to put the new
I
nail
do.
on. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. So we're doing a lot more of no preparation, or even, more, even if I have to do more of a traditional veneer for whatever reason, it's minimal preparation. So we're doing very minimal modifications to the teeth. So that is the biggest thing that patients, I think, are scared of when they want to do any type of cosmetic work, is they're scared of having their teeth shaved down. And I have no issue. I actually show patients, I have photos that I actually show them, when they come in, like, this is, if I had to shave your teeth, this is, if I had to modify your teeth at all, I show them, this is it. And they look at it like, what'd you do? And I'm like, exactly. I didn't do a lot. It doesn't, I mean, a veneer should be, the thickness of like a contact lens, so
I was just
that's,
gonna ask.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how thin they should be. So there's no reason to be overly, uh, overly modifying people's teeth anymore. That's probably the biggest, the biggest concern that patients do have, um, with porcelain veneers and cosmetics.
right,
I mean, the goal is always. I always tell people, my goal is always to do the minimal amount of modifications to your teeth to get you the desired result that you're looking for.
right. So, um, you were talking about materials too. Like, I'm curious, what is the difference in materials? Does it really matter what you get? Like, what are the benefits of different materials?
So we have different materials now. So, still the gold standard, for veneers, for example, is still, porcelain. The porcelain that I use is called Lisi, Lisi. Um, that's the one that I use with my technician. There's a few good ones. There's Lisi, there's Emax. Those are the kind of the most popular ones out there for porcelain veneers. Um, it's a lot of it is honestly based on, I used Emax for years, and then when Lisi came out and became more popular, my technician just felt it was more aesthetic. He liked working with it better, so um, we started some cases doing Lisi, and they came out great. And if that's, some of it is in his hands, if he feels like he can get a better result on his end, then I'm all for it. I mean, there's no reason for me to be like, no, don't use it. Um,
Right,
we do have some other materials now. So now some of the newer materials that are coming out, there are some like kind of hybrid materials now that are out. Some hybrid veneer materials that are kind of like a hybrid composite porcelain, which are there's like 3D printing and stuff now that are being done. Um, they're great. I've done some cases with them. We've got some great results with them. They do come in at a price point that is a little bit more comfortable for a lot of people. So if people aren't comfortable at the price point of a porcelain veneers, these do come in at a price point that a lot of patients are a little bit more comfortable, and they can get the smile that they're looking for, and come in more comfortably financially for something like that.
okay. I love that we're talking about price points. I was talking to someone else, and someone was mentioning Snap on Smile and some of these alternatives that are more for the short term, and people end up doing that and not realizing that. I mean, if they did minimal prep, they're prepping their teeth, they're preparing themselves to have to do veneers in the future and spending more throughout this entire process. Is that something that you talk to patients about? I mean, tell me about your process with new patients and how you educate and go from there.
So we always start with what the patient goal is in mind. So we have to, what concerns do they have? What goals are they looking at? What are they looking, what their smile to look like? And then we can put a plan together. How do we, we start from the end in mind, and then we work backwards, basically. We say, okay, this is what, your concerns are X, Y, and Z. This is where you want to get to. So how do we get there? So sometimes it could be more than one way of getting there. Like, again, it could be a smile sculpt veneer, which was the hybrid veneer. They're called smile sculpt veneers. It could be a porcelain veneers. It could be no prep. I mean, again, it just starts a lot with what their concern is. I mean, I explain the whole process. I show them on models. We take digital scans of everyone's, teeth, X-rays, all the, different records that we need. And then I go through the process of, starting, we start with models. We start with getting everything designed on a model first. You will get to try in temporaries, no matter what material we use. Whether you're no prep or a prep, you will try everything in the temporary stage first. So you get to test drive everything out. Nothing is finalized until actually, until you tell me like you love the temporary stage. As you can attest, you're in temporaries right now. You're kind of test driving them right now.
Yep.
You're kind of in the test drive stage. So if there was something that you wanted modified, this is the way you do it. If you said, you know what, I feel like these feel a little bit long to me. Can we shorten them? So we shorten them up a little bit and let you try it out again a little bit more to see if that's, if we got you at the, adjusted to the right,
Yeah.
lens that we wanted.
That's something that I've loved about working with you is that how much you care about your patients and the outcome is very present through everything that you do, through the standards, the systems that you have, your staff. Your staff is fun too. Like
Yeah.
I have a feeling, I haven't walked in your office, but I have a feeling when someone walks in, you guys know their names.
Yeah.
Um, Tell us a little bit about, because you did design the office and you have a studio for portraits and pictures. I mean, tell us a little bit about how you set up the office and why you set it up the way that you did.
So, I mean, I wanted it to reflect, that we have a cosmetic office. So, the colors, the designs, everything we made very obviously clean lines and modern. My waiting room is, filled with my actual patients, photos of my actual patients that I took in my photo studio. And yeah, I mean, part of it too with the photography is, I mean, I've been to photography courses. Um, you know, Being able to actually show the work that you've done, to be able to take really good photography is really important as well. To be able to actually show what the work looks like before and after. Not, I think that's a big part of what a lot of dentists are missing is the photography. um, and they do beautiful work, and then they take a picture of it, and they use like their cell phone or something, and it just looks terrible. Like it doesn't show off. It doesn't show the level of work that they did. So we want to, I actually love the photography. I always tell my patients, I go, this is the most fun part of the whole process for me, is at the end when I take the pictures. I love taking the photos. Um, so yeah, especially you get someone who's really like photogenic. I have some patients who are like models and stuff, and they're like all posing and everything. It's like a lot. It's a lot
It
of
looks
fun.
so cool. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun doing the photography. So yeah, so I mean, I built the office to reflect, the type of dentistry that. So when someone, like you said, when someone walks into the office, they know that this is a cosmetic practice. They know that they're not coming there for a root canal.
Totally. Well,
Yeah,
and I mean, I know from a marketing standpoint, but I wouldn't price shop you. I mean, if I look at your website, I know that you offer a certain standard. So I love that you've done that. Now, I mean, marketing, obviously, word of mouth and referral is going to be the best. And I know that you have great referrals because you do great work. But outside of that, what have you found to really help with your branding and marketing? What do you find has been successful for you?
so obviously we do, obviously we have a website, the website we have, which is designed, which I think we have a beautiful website.
Yep.
And Obviously we're doing a lot more actually social media more recently. I mean, I'm finding that's actually getting us a lot of leads through social media. So we actually have worked with some companies. I like we actually have them professional videography coming in, getting some video of us working with patients and stuff like that. We're actually finding the stuff that works the best is what they're saying is when I'm actually talking to patients.
Yep.
um, yeah, so they said that gets the best reaction. So we're going to start doing some more of that. I'm going to be on camera a little bit more. So yeah, so we've been doing a lot of video. They come in, a couple of times a month and get some good footage. And but really, those, social media. I know some stuff I've been looking into. A lot of patients actually find me on ChatGPT
Yep.
more recently, and I know that I heard actually they actually just started doing. You can actually do paid ads now on there.
You can. Yep.
Yeah, so that's something maybe an avenue we'll be looking at soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's, I think you've done a great job, like you said, with socials. And I mean, even on the website and everything is showcasing your work. Like you said, the photography as a cosmetic dentist, it is so bizarre to me, the practices that don't have good before and afters. Like you invest all of this money in your
right.
career and your education and you take crappy photos.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
weird.
a lot of times when patients, and sometimes they go for multiple consults, they come, but they choose me a lot of times because of my photography. I think they say your work looks, I mean, which is my kind of my style is it looks everything looks bright but very natural, which
Yeah.
is really the style that I like. I know, some patients do want like super bright, whatever. I really like the more natural. We do obviously people come in, they typically brighten their teeth, but I do like the more natural looking styles of the veneers. I don't want people, you want people to see their smile and not say, "Oh wow, who did your teeth?" Like it's like, "Wow, you have such a beautiful smile."
I find then though, you get, it becomes the best kept secret because no one wants to say that they had their teeth done.
Right. Well, that's what I said. I said that's the only bad thing for me is that if no one knows your teeth done, they're
Right.
not going to ask you who did them.
Well, no, and that's why people I think want to see you on camera, like your demeanor, how you are with patients, like you have I mean, all of your smiles have a very high end feel. They're all great. They all look natural, but you're very humble and very, the way you communicate with your patients, it makes them feel comfortable and they know that they're going to the right place.
Thank you.
I know that from your reviews, your before and afters. I mean, you're very involved with them, so they love that.
Yes.
Um, what would you say to someone who is just starting their brand now? What's the tip that you would give them in their first year?
So you're saying first year out of school or first year like just getting into
Um,
cosmetics?
I would say first year starting something on their own, whether it be just out of school or cosmetics.
Well, if right out of school, I mean, first, yeah, if you're coming out of school, you got to learn the basics. I mean, you can't get into this stuff. Like, it takes years and years to get into, to be able to do this at the level that, that we're doing it. So that I would say, learn your basics, learn your general stuff, take your courses, make sure you get in the right CE and stuff like that. But as far as someone, yeah, I mean, the same thing if someone wants to get into, if they're an experienced dentist and they've been, getting into cosmetics for years, I mean, and they want to build a practice, I mean, just make sure, you build it with the right people, you have your design, in mind. I think my contractor was great that, he really kind of took our ideas and brought them to life, and we built the office as far as colors, as far as design. I mean, so we really, I spoke with several different contractors before we built the office to make sure I have the one that, can put our vision to life, which he did. And, so just make sure you're designing it so that when people come in, they know that it's a cosmetic practice. That they know. If you walk into a beautiful, a high end restaurant, it's a high end restaurant. When you walk in, you're
Right.
not, you're not at McDonald's. So, it's all in the layout and the design and stuff like that. So,
And then invest in yourself is what I hear too. I mean, you've really invested in your ongoing education, which invests in your patients, and that the end result is apparent.
yeah, what actually becomes more difficult now, it's hard to find things because I've done so many, I've taken so many courses. It's like hard to find things anymore. So to
Right?
continue. To,
That's what one thing I was talking to another practice about too is a lot of the courses that I've seen you go to are from people with accreditations and experience. And I
yeah.
love that. Like you're always willing to learn from other people. And I think that's
Yeah.
how we all grow together.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like over the years. I mean, I always sought out like the best. I've taken Dawson and Spears and Coy's, and I've done all those courses. And then, I've taken courses with your dentist, Dr. Hornbrook. I've taken with a few times. As a matter of fact, it's fun. It's just a funny, quick story. What really kind of got me into the whole cosmetic interest in cosmetics. Oh God, what year was this? It was probably God, it had to be like almost maybe like 2000, early two. Like, I was probably out of school like 5 years, and I had gone with a friend of mine. They used to call it the Las Vegas Extravaganza,
Yep.
and it was all these cosmetic dentists, and Dr. Hornbrook was one of the guys there actually, and there was a few guys like Newton Fall and David Hornbrook and a couple of guys. So I saw these were like the early, these are the guys that were doing it, kind of the first guys that were really starting, the cosmetics stuff. And I went to some of the courses there in Las Vegas, and I was like, really like, wow, I just found it so interesting. And that's kind of really what kind of
Push you into it.
pushed me into it a bit. And I said, really, like, I really have to learn more about this stuff. And that was, I think that was 2000, 99, somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I mean, I still go to his courses. I go to neighbors' courses, but people like, I'm just there on fly on the wall taking pictures, and people are like, you're having the time of your life, aren't you? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not even involved in dentistry, and I love learning from people around me. They're great people.
Yeah. I took Dr. Neighbor's course a few years ago also. I think that was a great course. It's a no prep
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Yeah. There's always got look. There's always that's what I'm saying. There's always something new coming out. There's always newer techniques and technologies, and we want to always be on top of that and be on the cutting
absolutely.
edge of all that stuff.
Um, is there anything? Well, first off, How do new patients find you? First off,
So it's obviously through those few different ways. Obviously, it's through some of it's through our marketing. Obviously, through our website. Some through our social media. Obviously, direct referrals from other patients. Um, so I mean, that's most of it. Yeah, is probably through those means. I would guess. I'm trying to think anyway. I mean, like it's even some like a bunch are finding us on AI. Like I said, like ChatGPT patients are saying they they just Googled like who's the best cosmetic dentist in there, and I was coming up first. So
Hey, I'll take it.
And hey, I'm like, wow, that chat's really smart.
It is. Have you? I've been seeing tooth gyms and tooth tattoos pop up. Have you been asked to do any of that stuff?
I haven't. You know, it's funny. I'm not really interested in doing like the gems. I mean, I have been asked about that, but that's kind of like, you know, there are people doing that. They're not even dentists that usually do that stuff. Like the gems, they just basically glue them
Glue
on
it on.
forever. Yeah. But the tattoos and stuff definitely interest. I mean, it's funny because I have patients that come in who have, you know, lots of tattoos, but they won't put them on their teeth.
It's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
you want to get, well, like, want to get a tattoo? And they're like, no, I don't want it on my teeth. I'm like, you have it all over your body. Why not? Let's get one on your. But they don't want it on their teeth. I don't know. But I think that is, I would like to stuff like that. I think is pretty cool. Like, or even doing like the, not like a tooth gem, but like they put people like little diamonds in their veneers and stuff.
Yeah,
And I know there's even some stuff, you know, the labs are doing now. Some of these cooler, like faceted diamond veneers, they look like or whatever. The labs are doing some crazy, like these. They look like diamond facets on the veneers. So
that's one that I considered. I saw Utah Valley was doing one. I was like, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, Utah's doing them. They have a specialty lab within their lab, I guess, doing that. And I think it's cool. I'd love to do one. I just have to find the right person that would want to do one like do something like that.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
I actually have
Well,
patients. I've had a lot of patients reach out about doing like their canines. They want fangs,
yep.
but no one's actually ever pulled it. Again, no one's actually pulled the trigger on it that I've had. They call and I'm like, yeah, come on, and but then no one's really pulled the trigger on it. So
Well, I'm here for it. So when they do, send me the after photo. I want to see it.
yeah.
um, well, I know that people come from all over to see you. You said that you started, practicing in New York. Now you're fully in Red Bank. So tell people your website and your socials. How do they find you? How do they reach you if they want to come make an appointment?
So my website is bestnjcosmeticdentist.com, and my social is on Instagram and TikTok. It's Dr. Goldstein. Um, yeah, just Dr. Todd. Yeah, that's both my Instagram and my TikTok pages. Our TikTok is fairly new, not a big following on there yet. We just kind of set that up a little while ago. So,
So
uh,
follow them. There will be.
yeah, but Instagram, yeah, we have a much bigger Instagram phone. We've been doing that for years. So,
Yeah,
um,
your Instagram is killer. So Dr. Todd Goldstein, the Smile Aesthetic. I don't know if you know this, but I think it's 80% of Gen Z is doing searches and making purchases first on Instagram. So you're in the right place. Also, Google Search Console just integrated Instagram into the search results. So I know that you've always been very active on socials. I know someone is helping you with it right now. Make sure that your descriptions are on point because that will show up in the search results and help the website and ultimately get more new patients.
when you say the description, you're talking about the
Like the uh,
captions.
Yes, exactly. So the
Yeah.
captions and hashtags are not dead. So do 5 hashtags, do good descriptions, make where they're keyword friendly because that can be the top result on Google. So
But the hashtags will get picked up by Google.
the hashtags and the descriptions are, yeah.
They're picked up by Google. The
Yep.
hashtags.
So they just announced 2 weeks ago that Google is putting Instagram descriptions into the search results now. So
Because I think the hashtags they say don't really do anything on actually Instagram.
that's what they're saying. But so I've been testing and searching, and with 5 hashtags, because that's all you're allowed now on Instagram, it's still helping your account come up. So it still works.
Yeah.
Um, well, awesome. I appreciate you spending the time with us.
Yes.
That
Thanks.
is that is what's the buzz, and hopefully you'll come back and maybe we'll get to see a tooth gem or not gem, but the gold faceted or maybe a tooth tattoo.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the summer in Jersey there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Actually, just started raining
Did it? Oh, good
a little
timing.
bit.